When Beta Ray Bill first came to the game, the entire community lost its mind. This is a picture of Perky in his first Champion Deep Dive video, and firstly, nothing makes me more comfortable than a gym bro wearing a tank top and a horse mask telling me it's hammer time. I've never felt safer. Secondly, this is what comes of being overhyped. Look at him. He looks like a complete idiot. Hang on. But when Beta Ray Bill actually entered Marvel Contest of Champions, he faded faster than my hairline. So in today's video, we're going to attempt to answer the question, what the fuck happened to Beta Ray Bill? Why was the darling of all the Marvel Comics hype so not very well received? Why did he fall off a cliff in terms of popularity, and why has he faded into insignificance in 2025? I have this guy at rank 2, I think because of the Deathless Thanos boss in the Wheel of Fate. I think Beta Ray Bill was one of the best options to him in like the second quest, I think, and at the time I took him to rank 2 like on a whim, and then since then I thought maybe at the time that I would use him once or twice. I really haven't. So I saw him the other day and I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to make a video on Beta Ray Bill? What the hell happened there? And here we are. Now, a bit of a reminder before we get into exactly what's wrong with him, let's go through what you want to do in order to make him work. So, you want to build to your SB2. You have a 10% chance on all your basic hits to apply a passive shock to the opponent, and you want to charge your heavy attack and then intercept the opponent with your SB2 in order to get that little, you can see the horse icon? If you get max intensifies, you will gain 20 hits to then throw off SB1s and have the shocks expire while your SB1 is in play to then detonate and reapply your shocks for massive damage boosted by intensifies and a fury buff. His medium starting combos will cause the shocks to expire faster, and the light beginning combos will cause them to expire at the ordinary rate. And you can already see, you've probably already got a bit of a hint there as to one of the problems with this guy. Too complicated. That was certainly a bit of a mouthful to explain. There's an awful lot going on that makes this guy tick, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Just in a little bit. For now, let's focus on the good stuff. Damage. It's very clear to me that while this guy obviously is good in short and medium form content, his damage rotation was pointed towards bigger health pools. So you can see here, this is a 9.1. I also have some footage from 9.3 later on. But Jubilee here, no class advantage at all, has like 700, 800,000 health. This is a rank 2 Sig 40. Beta's damage increases with more Sig. So there's 2 ranks and 160 Sig stones left on the table of damage, right? And you can see after 2 detonations, she's going to be dead after the 3rd with overkill. With overkill. So a single SB2 and then a few SB1 rotation is more than enough to wipe out well over 1 million health for a rank 2. Damage is not something this guy has a problem with, but ironically, it's also something he has a problem with. So one of the big indicators of whether a champion is really going to take off is their performance in Battlegrounds. And I know some people are going to be triggered by that and scream Battlegrounds brain rot and scream that it's not important. But look, it's not at all indicative of what a champion is. It is not indicative of how a champion will end up. It does not mean that they will not make a massive resurgence at some point, but it's a pretty damn good start. If you can take your staple matchups in Battlegrounds quickly, then that's impressive. It's headline news, everybody knows about you, and you're more likely to impress in the future. Beta Ray Bill does not impress in Battlegrounds, right? He is designed to take future Ant-Man, but also high armored champions like Red Skull, and you can see I'm kind of forced to do the same rotation I would do for, like, as you just saw, a fight in Act 9, or even bigger content like Necropolis in Battlegrounds. And look, we're punching up here just 1 rank, but this would be the same rotation if this was a rank 4 Beta versus a rank 3 Red Skull. And you can see just under 50,000 points. Now, I can already feel the accusations of Battlegrounds brain rot coming in. I can hear those fingers typing. But there are an awful lot of characters in the Cosmic class that can do that an awful lot better. And that's not a good indicator not a good first impression for a champion. Now, reason number 2 why I think this guy fell off a cliff after release is the gymnastics you need to do to make him work, right? When his damage for a single rotation is stretched, right? When for example, I want to take my rank 2 into 9.3 here, the amount of stuff you need to watch, the amount of stuff you need to be careful of while ramping, while executing your damage output, it doesn't even bear thinking about. It doesn't even bear thinking about. The amount of timers and the amount of things I need to think about before I even get close to my maximum damage output is just overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. So in this fight, I've got to watch the node. You can just see the node there tried to power drain me, and I shot up to like nearly 2 bars of power. So now I actually have too much power. So I wasn't paying attention to that. I need to be mindful of how many hits I have left before my shocks will stop or stop reapplying. I have to be mindful of what combos I use. So, as I said at the start, I want to start using my medium beginning combos in order to cause my shocks to expire faster. I need to be mindful of when I throw my SB1 so the shocks expire during its animation. And you can see, I'm dancing around, I'm backed up, I only just execute that. And then you can see 250,000 damage from a single detonation. I mean, again, damage is not his problem, but my word, the stuff you've got to deal with to make that work. Is that really worth it? Really? Compare it to Cull Obsidian. 3 heavy attacks in a combo and something probably dead. Deathless Thanos. Charge a heavy attack into an SB1. Then another SB1. To be honest, they're probably dead. Medusa, SB1. They're probably just dead. Right, Vox. Again, same thing, SB1. Vox is a bit more complicated, you've got to get the timing right, but that Moondragon went down, right, just under 2 minutes, because the amount of shit I had to manage was slowing me down so much, and it's going to end in me getting smacked, right? You're going to see me get smacked about because I'm watching timers, because I'm stressed to my fucking gills dealing with this character, and it's just not healthy, man. It's just not healthy. My hair goes grey having to play him. Right, the heart rate goes up. It's not good for the soul playing Beta Ray Bill. There's a very good reason why he's found his home in like top tier Alliance War amongst the best players in the world, because they're the only ones who can be bothered to deal with this. They're the only ones who can be bothered to deal with this in order to reap the benefits once you deal with it. And it takes an awful lot of practice. It takes an awful lot of practice. Something you don't always see on YouTube. You don't see how many takes a video takes. Like, you just see the finished product. You see it when it's all shiny and ready to go. You don't see the rehearsal. You don't see, you know, the bits of footage where I have my arse handed to me by a soul-destroying lifestack intercept from the AI. I just show you the good stuff, right? This quest alone took at least like 3 takes to get right. And you see that I should have thrown the SB1. I threw the SB2. I was too busy looking at the shocks. And now I'm getting smacked. It's all over the place, right? And that was after I'd already spent half the day playing Beta Ray Bill. Right, so, yeah, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. Eventually, I get it off, and, yeah, again, the damage. It works. It definitely works, but I can't just keep saying the same sentence. I'll say it one more time. The stuff you have to do, the shit you've got to put up with to make this guy work, practically, unlike any other champion in this game. But anyway, we throw off one more SB1. We only got 2 Furies here, but you can see, wipes him out. 250,000 damage, right? Beta Ray Bill is rather unique in that, like, a single rotation, if you really stretch it, like, I took him into Necropolis. I just wanted to see, like, just no synergies, no nothing, no suicide boost. I just did 2 SB2s and an SB1 spam rotation. Just want to see what happens. I'm by no means the best Beta Ray Bill player in the world. I took off 3 million health of Necropolis Red Goblin before I ran out of damage in that rotation. And I could have just, like, gone up to an SB2 instead of throwing my SB1s. I could have kept that damage up. I could have kept my Furies paused. I could have kept the shocks ticking, and I didn't. I just wanted to see what a 1 rotation would do. It's mad. It's mad. But it's taken 5 years of my life having to manage it. Anyway, this is the last fight I have. And again, this Danny Moonstar, 900,000 health. But not good in Battlegrounds. Not impressive in Battlegrounds. And so hard to manage, you actually need a spreadsheet to know what to do before anything even goes remotely right. And you can see why Beta Ray Bill, maybe, is not quite as popular as his hype might have led you to believe. But yeah, look, Danny Moonstar, we just bait out this SB1, and I think at this point I'm realizing I need to gain a bar of power before my power bar shoots up. And you can see I'm really stalling. I'm really stalling to make this work, and eventually we chuck off that SB1. She gets down to 50% health. And yeah, I think just one more shock. I think just one more shock detonation, and she's going to go down. Yeah, I've just wasted my combo, or I will in a second anyway. Failed to dex the SB2 again. Just not going very well. But we chuck off the relic. We chuck off an SB1 now, and that is just about all I have for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations. You have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish. Actually, hang on. Yeah, we did get some connection problems here, so the film just cuts. But I'll tell you, that Danny Moonstar went down in about 90 seconds. Very impressive. I never want to play this character again. Now, go away.